Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today we have Kill Team Warhammer 40k Killzone Nachmund. This is going to be an unboxing so that everyone can see all of the sprues, and then I'm going to focus on the terrain and what the terrain means for Nachmund. If you want to know about the Void Scarred Corsairs or the Legionnaires, the Chaos Space Marine Legionnaires, those are going to be in separate videos. Right now we just have an unboxing for all the sprues and then the terrain. Alright, so we know what's coming in this. We've got our bases, 28s and 32s. That means the Void Scarred, completely unsurprisingly, are going to be on 28 mils. We then have this thing, I can't remember, it's like a generator of some sort. This is a sprue that they had discontinued, but now they've brought back. Man, I'm going to be saying such confusing things about all of this terrain. Right, sorry, let's do an unboxing. Let's look at all of the sprues. But of course, before we get started, everybody, I'd like to give you a big 6 model hello from the Legionary kill team and a 9 model hello from the Corsair Void Scarred kill team. Wow, so wholesome. If you want to repay their wholesomeness, then like, subscribe, leave a comment right now. And in the next video, they may just be giving you one themselves. Let's get into the unboxing and the terrain rules. This looks nice and chunky. That's a platform that goes on top, which I assume is going to be a vantage point. And on one side, you're going to end up with a barricade. So this will be a vantage point with one side being cover and one side being presumably unshootable, because that's going to be heavy and over 1 inch. So pretty cool. And although I don't like this terrain, like, I don't know, it's just too much for me. I don't know how to phrase it. I actually think those particular pieces will play well. Pipes are always good. There's nothing wrong with pipes. They provide a nice little bit of light terrain. Well, I don't even know what this sprue is. Oh, this is going to be for the grabber thing, isn't it? Yeah, okay. The servo hauler. Nice chunky platforms there. Ladders. Wonder if the ladders are going to have rules. What do you think? And then this is for anyone that just likes tubes, I guess. I don't know. Tubes. Interestingly, if these were flush to the ground, which they might be, these would almost be interesting little kind of barricade scramble terrain. I don't think they will be that, but I'm going to keep on going. Oh yeah, is this the ferrotonic furnace? Yeah, this is it. These little things, they're so awkward. I think that if you're playing with this terrain, if this is what you like, pro tip for you right here, okay, right now, blue tack. Just a little daub of blue tack on the base. That will make this this stuff imminently more playable. Right, what do we have? We've got our Void Scarred sprue, our Void Scarred sprue. We've got these. Now, I believe this here is your standard Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine sprue. So you see we've got the rocket launcher, the heavy bolter, but then we don't have the additional piece. We have the plasma. Do they get a melter? Do they get a flamer in here? I assume they do. I just can't see them. They're not jumping out at me right now. Oh, they're going to be on here, aren't they? So this is just your Chaos Space Marine troop sprue. We then have this bad boy right here. This is our expansion sprue. I'm terrified to think how much more they're going to charge for this kit now that they've put this sprue in there. We see it all. So we've got the Chain Reaper cannon, we've got the big axe, we've got the sword, we've got, is that a mine? No, that's part of the Chain Reaper cannon. We've got the book of knowledge. We've got a whole load of different faces. How come Games Workshop can do male faces really well, but female faces, they're just like, blah. We've got our demonic sword, we've got our knives, we've got our flaming stuff. Oh, where's the hand? I really want to see the possessed. I still think the Possessed looks really goofy. I don't think GW has nailed the Possessed yet, have they? Anyway, right. That is that. Now, obviously, this is the Corsair Sprue, which is entirely new. So I'm actually going to do, hopefully, if my camera will focus, it's not going to. Super. I'm actually going to do a full look at these so we can see everything nice and clearly. Oh, you see there's a nice, some of these are smooth cloaks, some of these are scaled cloaks. Two of them are scaled, but a different type of scale. I'm very much looking forward to doing the full Super Saiyan head. I assume that there are going to be optional heads, so you can do them all helmeted or all unhelmeted. Let's have a look. Yeah, these are just, I don't know. Oh, now that has to be the Drukhari cloak, doesn't it? Because it's got the stitching. The stitching means that is human skin. Yeah, so there we go. We've got all of these helmeted heads. Most of these looking Drukhari, which is odd. Are they going to do another set that's primarily Craftworld or Harlequin or I don't know. Cool. Ah, yes. No. Okay. So it seems like you either go unhelmeted or you go Drukhari style helmets. That's an interesting choice. Clearly I don't know the lore of the Corsairs enough to know why there are so many more Drukhari than there are anything else. You would have thought the Drukhari would be... Oh, that's the artwork. Dude, sword, funky horn, Corsair. Nice. Right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Why is somebody mowing the lawn right as I'm trying to make this video? I'm not going to open this bad boy up because it's just, you know, it's whatever, right? No, alright, I'll open it up. You've convinced me. The reason I wasn't going to open it up is because I don't use these boards, and the reason for that is because they are really quite large, because they're only bisected instead of in halves. But you know what? Whilst we're here, because some people love it, or sorry, want to know, let's see what is on the other side. Sector Imperialis is my guess. Oh. No, it's the same both sides. Oh. Okay, well, it is what it is, right? What can I say? What can I say? It's not what I was expecting. I guess actually, in fairness, GW hasn't done one side of the board being Sector Imperialis, one side being unique for a while, so that's on me. That's on me. I apologise. Here are the transfer sheets for anybody wanting to look at them. Seems like we've got all the usual stuff. Cool. Right. Do we want to look at the build instructions? No, not really. But here we are, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Those are all the sprues you're getting. Cool. Nice. Nice. Oh, you know what? What I'm going to do is go away, build everything, and then come back, and in the individual reviews for these two guys, for these two teams, I'm going to tell you if we're going to end up needing more. Because it seems that every Void Guard is going to either be the melee or the ranged or the character. I can't remember how this team works out, if everyone wants to be a character or if we do actually need some of them to be regular dudes. Let's find out, shall we? Right. Now, as mentioned, chaps, this is... Oh, we can get rid of this. We're done with the unboxing. Nice. Good stuff. Now, I haven't yet had time to... I'm going to zoom in a smidge. Lovely. So I'm not going to go through all of the rules just yet. That's going to be done in the individual ones. Okay, that's going to be done in the individual ones. Okay, but this is just some little teasers for you. Some little teasers. You know, what is this? What is this? Psychic powers? Marks of chaos? Legionary kill team? Security, seek and destroy? Very cool. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Cool. Oh, that's narrative. Who cares, lol. Let's have a quick look, because if you're watching this as it goes live, you won't have seen it yet. So maybe this can whet your appetite. 1 Felarch with 8 points guard. Interesting. So they're a 9 model team. Okay. Let's keep going. Now we're going to look at the terrain. We're going to look through all of the terrain. We are now done with the unboxing. We are reading terrain, because this is going to define for a lot of people whether or not this should be purchased. Let's go for it. Hatch. All parts of a hatch terrain feature have the small and explorable traits. Okay, we have a new trait, explorable. Interesting. Small. Operatives can move across and over this terrain feature as if it were not there, but it cannot set up or finish a move on top of it. Okay. Explorable. An operative can explore a hatch by performing the Explore Underground action. Costs 1 AP. An operative can perform this action in narrative play only. Okay, there you go. This has instantly killed it for many people. In narrative play while within 1 inch of a terrain feature that has the explorable trait. The operative gains 1 XP and that terrain feature has been explored. An operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of an enemy operative, or if that terrain feature has already been explored. Interesting. Now, I don't know much about the balance of, narrative, so sounds fun. 1 AP for an XP sounds really good though. Exhaust vent. All parts of an exhaust vent terrain feature have the light, traversable, and exhaust vent traits. Exhaust vent. This terrain feature creates an area of smoke 2 inches horizontally from it and to an unlimited upward height. The effects of this area of smoke are as follows. An operative is not visible if a cover line drawn to it crosses into and out of an area of smoke. Okay. While an operative is within an area of smoke, it is treated as being in cover. Operatives can remove this area of smoke by performing the close vent action. Close vent, 1 AP, an operative can perform this action while within 1 inch of a terrain feature that has the exhaust vent trait. That terrain feature stops creating an area of smoke and loses the exhaust vent trait. An operative cannot perform this action while within a engagement range of an enemy operative. So this is an interesting change from how... So I had just assumed this was going to be a smoke grenade that was just set up somewhere on the board, right? But no, it actually works completely differently. So if you're in the smoke, you're going to be in cover, while an operative is within an area of smoke. So it says within, not wholly within. That's actually relatively powerful. Like, this is a large area of cover, because you have to be within, not the cover line that your enemy is drawing to you. Interesting. That might need an FAQ to confirm it, but just as it's written, yeah, as it's written, your model has to be within that 2 inch area, but the cover line doesn't have to go through it. And then the first one, if an operative is not visible if a cover line drawn to it crosses into and out of an area of smoke. And that's obviously completely different to smoke grenade. So this is saying that if the cover line goes directly through this, then as opposed to a smoke grenade where it gets weird because they FAQ'd it and I can't remember what the FAQ is. Alright. Power relay substation. Power cores, there's 2 of them. Okay. A power relay substation includes a part with the power cores trait. All parts of it have the light and traversable traits. Power cores. Operatives can salvage resources from this terrain feature by performing the salvage power core action. Salvage power core. I haven't read this. I'm terrified to see if it says in narrative only or not now, because it sounds super weird. An operative can perform this action while within 1 inch of a part of a terrain feature that has the power cores trait. Roll 1d6. On a 3-up, a viable power core is salvaged. You gain 1 CP, and this terrain feature loses the power core's trait. An operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of an enemy operative. I'm just going to assume this is for some narrative mission coming up, and this is defining how you get power core. I guess if you were using this in match play, and you really wanted to flex, you could salvage a power core, just to screw with them. A crane, all parts of it have the heavy train. Ferrotonic furnace, lovely. Scalable, we already know what that means. Designer's note, this means an operative looking to climb onto a ferrotonic furnace's vantage point via one of its ladders will travel vertically. So, the reason it's having the designer's note there is if we look at this terrain, your 4 inches up gets you to the top. This is a 5-inch piece of terrain, to be clear, but you only need to spend 4 to get to the top. However, these bits of cover are an additional inch or 2 inches, so you would need to go further up, and so you cannot climb up with that. Perhaps if you use a dash that will be enough, perhaps not. But if you want to get onto this for only 2 circle, you need to go up one of the ladders. Thermic plasma reactor. The platform attached with thermic plasma regulator, has the vantage point trait. The rampart on the platform, which I guess is this little bit here, the cover, has the light and traversable traits. All other parts of it have the heavy trait. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Again, having seen the size of this, like in the flesh, in the plastic, in the grey, I actually think these are going to be pretty useful bits of terrain. So, good, yes. Pipe. All parts of a pipe terrain feature have the light and traversable traits. Lovely. Oh, we're still going. Okay. Fuel reservoir. Oh yeah, this thing. This is what you're going to do. These 2 things are what you need to have the blue tag for, okay? All parts of a fuel reservoir terrain feature have the heavy trait. Oh, I hate to say it, but I actually think the fuel reservoir is probably pretty good as a piece of terrain because of this bizarre shape. This is going to be providing heavy cover and therefore obscurity from above ground level, so this is a negative for vantage points, which is probably good, but then less of a negative on the ground. Something to keep in mind. Smog stack. All parts of a toxic smog stack terrain feature have the heavy and toxic smog traits. Toxic smog. At the start of each turning point, if this terrain feature is not belching out toxic smog, roll 1d6. On 5+, this terrain feature starts belching out toxic smog. Okay. While an operative is within 3 inches of this terrain feature, if this terrain feature is belching out toxic smog, subtract 1 from the defense characteristic of that operative. Operatives can remove toxic smog by performing the shut-off stack action. Shut-off stack. 1 AP. An operative can perform this action while within 1 inch of a terrain feature that has the toxic smog trait. That terrain feature stops belching out toxic smog and loses the toxic smog trait. And operative can okay. Cool. Nice. Now, we also have the narrative missions, which I will slowly flick through. The real question is, so there was only one thing in there that went ahead and said, this is a narrative only thing, and that's because it was referencing XP. What are we going to do? Are we going to put this into match play? What do you think? This is a genuine question for the hardcore comp players out there. I think all of that stuff sounds really good fun for narrative and for casual games. But do we want to see that in competitive games? Now, primarily, let me. I think most of this is really good. Obviously, this is pointless, doesn't do anything. This doesn't do at all what I thought it was going to do. I thought this was going to be like a teleport. So you have a hatch on one side of the board, hatch on the other side of the board, and you 1 AP and you get to move, right? I thought it was going to be a redeploy sort of thing. It's not, so that's really weird. I actually think this is super cool. I think this could be used. Because let's say you don't actually have enough terrain to fill out a board. One of these, which is relatively small, let me Let me dig through my mound of terrain, sorry. Wait, let me just weighing that down. Let me find an exhaust vent for you. That's the exhaust vent. Okay, that is the hatch. That's the... Do I have a reference? I do. Here's a random 32mm base I have. Okay, boom. 32mm. It's relatively thick. It's a thick boy. But it's about 32mm, almost exactly. You know, a little bit larger. Whereas that is more like a 40. Or even a 50. Interesting. So, if you don't actually have enough terrain lying around, perhaps one of these, which is only a 32mm base, suddenly can expand out to be a huge 2-inch or 4-inch, because it's expanding from this, which is potentially very cool. Yeah, and that gives you both cover, so it essentially acts as both cover and heavy cover in certain situations. So pretty cool. I like this. That's nothing. That's a lot less than it could have been. I'm really surprised they went with that rule. I like this. I don't want to play with that. But this, is anyone actually going to play with this? I don't think anyone is going to say, hey guys, we've decided smog stacks are the way to go in competitive play. I can't see it, but it's interesting. But what do you think? I mean, this is the kill zone. Are we going to say match play missions should be, you know, a kill zone of each thing? So we should have, what, kill zone Octarius on table 1, Killzone Chalnath, table 2, and Killzone Nachmund, table 3, ad infinitum. So if you have 30 tables, then you've got, you know, table 1, table 4, table, etc. are going to be Octarius. Like, is that the ideal? Or do you want to try and make sure, you know, if you can, that every player has to play on each of the zones at least once? I don't know. Interesting things, interesting things. Oh, and you know what? Final thing I'll say, because I had already skipped up. Legionary Kill Team 6 models. There you go. Alright guys, well this has been a Killzone Nachmund unboxing. And I really wanted to do this to go, not just to unbox, because I do think people need to know what they're buying and what they're actually getting. But I wanted to go over the terrain rules, because when I did Chalnath, I didn't talk about terrain rules at all. So, if you've enjoyed this, if you're hyped at the little teasers I just gave you for the rules there, go back to my channel, because it's now probably about 10:30 on Saturday morning, which means, you know what that means? That means that the faction foci are out, and we're going to go through all of those rules. We're also going to see the models that I've painted up. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been Glass Half Dead. If you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big... No, I haven't done... Oh, I forgot the hellos. I'd like to give you a big triple hello. And now, if there happened to be a double hello at the beginning of this video, then well done me for editing it back in. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.